Get started with a map editor, we need to open the console and type map space empty. This will load up an empty map. But we don't want a map on this because it will overwrite the save for the empty map. So what we need to do is we need to give it a name. So I'm going to give this a name called test 101. I'm going to save that. Now we're going to load up that map by typing map test 101. To enter the map editor, you can either press escape and click edit, or you can press the 0 key. So the main things that you'll need is this drop down menu, and to make something from this drop down menu you need to just hold mouse 1 and drag. This is what we call a world spawn. This is what you make your actual map out of. To change the face of a world spawn, you simply select it and then hold shift until it glows white, and then hold mouse 1 and you can drag up and down, and you can drag like this. If you want to change the face of something, select it, hold shift, mouse 1, there you go. Select a world spawn and press V, you'll enter vertex mode, and as you can see here there's little white dots here. And what you can do is you can use these to make ramps, and you can use these to make triangles and all sorts of different shapes. If you want to delete something, you select it and then click backspace and that will delete it. If you want to copy something, for example this pillar, you select it and then you press G and that will clone it or copy it. If you wanted to select multiple things and move them all around at the same time, you select them by holding Control and select them individually, and then you can move them around as if they were one thing. If you want to move something up or down, you select it and then you hold Alt or ALT and then you drag it up and you drag it down. If you wanted to make a ramp, you make a rectangle like this or a box, and then you go into vertex mode and drag one corner into the other. Like so. You exit vertex mode and there you go, you have a ramp. To make this wall angled, so if you wanted to make it more smooth, what you do, make a box in the corner like this, drag it up, and then go into vertex mode, drag the corners to each other like that, and there you go, you have an angled wall. Set of stairs, what you want to do is you want to get a world spawn, and you want it to be 16 long and 8 high, and then you can either make it 160 width, or you can make it 192. I like 192 personally. Then you just clone it. You clone it by pressing G, and you just move it across, and you keep doing that until you're happy with the stair height. Generally you don't want your stairs to be too long. You can have stairs as short as 2, but you don't want your stairs to be too long. Yep, that's how you make a set of stairs. Now if we can see in the top right hand corner, we see snap distance, and now mine is set to 8, and I would recommend that you all set your snap distance to 8 as well. Now when it comes to snap distance, you want a map, or create your map in an even snap distance. Now what a snap distance is it means the amount of units that you will create. So for example here, because mine's 8, the minimum I can go, if I try and put that any smaller, is 8. Whereas if I set it to 4, as you can see there, I can go 4. Now if I have my snap distance set to 4, it will snap 4 units every time I pull it, or every time I move it, it will snap 4 units in distance. Whereas if I use 8, use snap distance 8, it will snap 8 units. So you want to use even numbers, and the reason you want to use even numbers is because everything lines up nicely. So even though I just use snap distance 8 for that, and I switch to snap distance 4, I start mapping over here. See how it lines up perfectly? This is why you want to use even numbers. So you want to use numbers 2, 4, 8, 16 and 32. You can use 64 if you really want to, but yep, stick with even numbers because it will make sure that your map lines up correctly. Look at the top right hand corner here, we have angle or snap angle. Now that basically means degrees and how much your brush will rotate. So as you can see, I've got it to 10. Let me set it to 45. So if I select this and then click the number 1 key, it rotates 45 degrees. If I click the number 2 key, it rotates 45 degrees again. You use the number 1 and number 2 keys to rotate brushes like this that you've selected. And you can change this to 90 and it will snap 90. You can change it to 180 and it will snap 180. So this basically means the angle that your brush will rotate. I usually keep it at 45 because that's generally the best one to, well, the one that I find most useful to have. But yeah, click the number 1 and number 2 keys to rotate. And if you want to change the angle at which you rotate in, for example 5, you can click it to 5, and you can also hold it down as well. So that is snap distance and snap angle. If you wanted to make a teleporter, what you need to do is you need to go up here onto this a little drop down menu and select teleporter over here, and then you need to draw a teleporter brush like this. There we go. Now what we need to do is we need to give this teleporter a name. Let's call it Tele1. Oh, Tele1. Okay, now the teleporter needs to know where it's going. So what we need to do is we need to link it to a target. And this is what we're going to do. We're going to link it to this target here. I'm going to call this one the same name that I called the teleporter, so that it knows where to go. Imagine an invisible line linking these two together. So when you go in there, you come out there. Let's call this LE1. There we go. Now if I walk through this teleporter, there we go, brings me out there. Now you need something to represent the teleporter, because otherwise, as you can see in game, it's invisible. Now I can see it in the editor, but if I'm in game, it's invisible. So I need something to represent a teleporter so that I know that it's there, so that other players know that it's there as well. So what we're going to do, we're going to go up to effect, we're going to get an effect like this, and then we're going to go all the way down to the bottom. I'm going to select the teleporter portal. It's 45. And then we're going to put the teleporter portal just there, just in front of the, or just behind the teleporter brush, just in front of the wall, nice and smooth, so that now when I'm in the game I can see that that is a teleporter, and boom, it takes me out there nice and easy. I forgot to add is that when you put a target down, you need to make sure that it's halfway in the floor, because what that does is when it's halfway in the floor, when you come out of the teleporter, your feet will stick to the floor, because it's halfway in the floor, and that means that you can do teleporter jumps. If it's not halfway in the floor, you can probably still do teleporter jumps, but it will be much more awkward and clanky, and it will feel a lot more unnatural. Also, the way that your target is facing is the way that you will come out of the teleporter. So if your target is facing this way, you'll come out this way. If it's facing that way, you'll come out that way. So jump pads are quite similar to teleporters in that you have to draw them and you have to set a target, for them to go to. So let's just draw a jump pad down here. Let's call this JP1. Now, if I go in game, look, I don't go anywhere. It's because the jump pad needs to know where to send you. So I need to get a target and then call it the same name as the jump pad so that it knows where to send me. So I'll call it JP1. And now as you can see, imagine there is an invisible line going from this to this, linking them together. Up I go. That's how you do jump pads. So I'm going to teach you how to get set materials and get materials. Now if I wanted to know what material this is, then I click it, hold down shift, and then click K, and that will get material. And as you can see, it's changed. It's told me what the material is. Now if I want to know what this material is down here, I do exactly the same. Select it by pressing mouse 1, hold down shift, and then click K. That will get me the material. Now if I want to set a material, I get a world spawn just like this, and then I select it and click M. And there we go. That is getting and setting materials. I'm going to show you what clipping is. Now in order to clip something, you need to draw a world spawn like this. And just I was showing you to get materials before, you need to draw a world spawn like this. And then you need to go up here to materials and select a clip. Now I'm going to show you what full clip, normal clip, and weapon clip does. Full clip, to apply a clip to this by the way, just click M. Full clip means that you cannot walk through it and you cannot shoot through it, as you can see. Now a regular clip means that you can shoot through it, but you cannot walk through it. And a weapon clip, as you can imagine, means that you can not shoot through it, but you can walk through it. So that was my map editor guide, a quick tutorial on all of the controls and how to make maps in Reflex. And I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you later.